Amy, did you know today is episode 50?
I did. And I also
Episode,
know it's your
oh,
birthday.
it is. The day that this is published will
Yay.
be my birthday. It is not actually my birthday today, on the day that we are recording, but I'm going to pretend like it is.
Yeah,
So,
we can act like it. It's your birthday week now,
yeah, you're right. It's
pretty
official.
much.
We're exactly 1 week out from E-Day. So, yeah, it's my birthday week. You're right. Well, welcome to Girls Gone Spooky, episode 50, which is really 10 of season 2, but it's exciting that
Yeah.
it's 50 episodes. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Amy. And we're back.
And we're back. We're back. Okay, we are talking today about haunted. I categorize it like as eBay items, but it's not like
Yeah.
specifically eBay. It's just like haunted shit you find online.
Yeah.
I also like cheated a little bit, and some of it's like thrift store stuff, but I feel like it's kind
I
of the
think
same
that
vibe.
counts.
Secondhand things that are haunted.
Yes.
But before we jump into that, I have an update or something upcoming that's relevant to last week's episode, which was haunted theaters, aka spooky little thespians. So I am going to a like haunted experience in a theater next
Ooh.
Tuesday.
How
And
cool. Wow.
So it's called Alone in the Dark at the Elgin and Winter Garden Theater. And I'm just going to read the description because it just like sounds so like, it just sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
That is so cool.
It says, join us for a once-in-a-lifetime paranormal adventure as we explore Toronto's famously haunted theater and National Historic Site, the Elgin and Winter Garden. Small groups, 12 guests or fewer, will have exclusive access to investigate the empty theaters and ornate lobbies in the dark. Stand in the exact locations that have made the theater a paranormal hotspot as we share the building's chilling ghost stories and history. Throughout the evening, we will also trace humanity's attempts to contact the other side from ancient times up till today. As we experiment with different communication methods, we will try will any of the theater's ghosts answer back? Each group will have a unique, unpredictable experience while investigating the building. This unforgettably eerie evening at the only operational and haunted double-decker theater in the world will delight ghost story enthusiasts, paranormal investigators, avid theater goers, urban explorers, or anyone with a curiosity about the unknown. So,
cool.
Yeah, people are like, this was such a cool experience. Like, as someone who already believes in the paranormal, it's not gimmicky. Like, it's very much like creepy and like also very historical and just kind of cool. So I'm really excited. And so I will definitely do a quick little segment at the beginning of the next episode.
Please.
After I go.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
How fun.
And then there's one other one that I want to go do, and I just haven't figured out when I'm going to go or who I'm going to go with, because this one I'm going with a friend of mine and his girlfriend, so it's just going to be the three of us. The other one is called the Howland Inn Seance, and it looks so creepy. I can read this one too because it's like,
is it a seance?
Yeah, but it's a recreation of a Victorian seance. So yeah, and it looks like people's comments look really scary. So it just says, once in a lifetime experience, James invites groups of 16 to 18 guests to a chilling recreation of an authentic Victorian seance, terrifying participants in Toronto. And from Blog TO, which is like one of the larger, like, it'd be like Thrillist or like one of those like very popular like urban to-do sites. Says one of the guys in our group started feeling nauseous and then started crying and couldn't stop. I'm not going to be able to sleep for a couple of days at least.
Yikes.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there are any other like, yeah. Anyway, it's like a soul, like people call it like a soul shaking psychological.
Oh God, it's scary.
And it runs through November 26th. So I'm like, okay. And they made the price $66.66.
Smart.
I was like, sick.
Yeah. Wow.
Um,
That would
so
be
fun.
cool,
I
but
know,
scary.
but I'm excited.
I
I'm gonna do it.
The seance one, I don't know. I feel like I'd be the one to get possessed if we went to that together. So
Probably,
you
yeah.
gotta be
That sounds about
careful.
right. I will be careful. I'm gonna ward myself before I
Yeah,
go in.
good idea.
Um, Pray to Jeebus or whatever.
Yeah.
I honestly was thinking about maybe just going alone, and then someone was
Mm.
like, "It's not the best neighborhood," and so I was
Oh,
like, "Okay, maybe I
yeah.
won't go alone." So I'm gonna
Yeah.
recruit someone to go with me, but I'm not
Yes.
sure who yet.
Okay.
Gonna pick an unlucky volunteer.
Maybe someone who
That'd be
doesn't believe in these things,
great.
or
Hmm.
they'd ruin it. It's hard to
I
say.
wish my brother were around because I feel like I could strong arm him into going, and then he'd be scared shitless, but he'd be like, that was so dumb and fake." Afterwards, I'd be like, "Yeah, okay, you were like
Uh-huh.
shaking, but sure."
Yeah.
Um,
Whatever you gotta tell
Sorry,
yourself.
really just like outing my brother here.
Oh, Jordan.
Sorry, Jordy, little Jordy. Um, okay, so today's episode, back to our topic, is
Yes.
haunted. We'll call it secondhand items.
Okay. Good idea.
Um, and I go first this week.
Yes. Also,
Um,
really quick, I am going to mute myself. So if I forget
oh yes,
to push unmute, I
I will
apologize in
holler.
advance. There's a
Yes,
dog here and I can't breathe. So I'm
good,
going to
good,
be like, in
good.
the mic.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Yikes. Okay, here we go.
Yikes. Okay, so this is from a blog that actually did a really good job of summing up a bunch of, like, just kind of like an overview of a bunch of spooky thrift store buys. Um, so the article is called Don't Get Spooked. Your next thrift store buy could be haunted. And it's by Jesse Shue. Shue. Um, Okay, so I'm just going to read through most of the article. I'm like going to paraphrase some of it, but there are a lot of just like creepy little things I thought would be a good way to start. So first came the shadows, then the tingling sensations in their arms and shoulders. When strong waves of old-fashioned grandma perfume began randomly permeating their home in Stockton, California, the couple knew the items they bought were haunted, and they had to get rid of the Ziploc bag of Saint metals and cheap jewelry they'd purchased 3 days earlier from a thrift store. As a side note, I feel like buying anything religious is like a little
Mm,
bit asking for it.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
that's
shouldn't
a
say
risky
asking for it,
purchase.
but yeah, that's a risky purchase. Um, okay, as the husband chronicled on an anonymous message board for ghost stories, they felt a bit silly chucking the baubles in the dumpster at their condominium complex, but their instincts were right. The moment the trinkets were removed from their house, the energy felt normal again. It was like a weight was lifted, the husband recalled. The place seemed lighter. There was no denying that something was different. The couple's verdict: the bag of jewelry they'd bought from the thrift store had been haunted. And their story is not unique, nor is it, if you believe in the paranormal, hard to believe. Thrift stores are full of antiques and secondhand items for sale that are, quote, haunted, which we buy despite not knowing anything about who used them, what happened to them, and perhaps most importantly, why they ended up being donated. When you think of it that way, it's not so hard to imagine that at least some of those goods contain ghosts. Consider it your free gift with purchase. The internet is rife with accounts from people claiming to have bought haunted secondhand goods, from porcelain teacups to Brooks Brothers pants. Paranormal forces, it seems, can inhabit pretty much anything. Thrift shoppers have reported buying flags that brought them bad luck, old books with sinister vibes, which we've talked about on a past
Mhm.
episode, and wall organizers that left spontaneous scratches on their arms. Like,
Ew.
no thank you.
Mm-mm.
A bargain loving grandmother once bought Christmas ornaments from a thrift shop that she believed were possessed, making her bed bounce up and down in the middle of the
Oh.
night and flinging all of her kitchen cupboards open at once.
Mm-mm.
This is like an old lady. Like, I feel like it's just like, why would she make that up? You
Yeah.
know? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yikes.
Yeah, big yikes. Some people like the idea of owning something with spirits in it. A doll collector named Ollie frequently buys new toys for his collection from thrift stores, knowing for sure they're haunted. I
Hmm.
know this, he wrote, because I sometimes watch them move or change
Hmm.
expressions. Not that I necessarily like trust someone who's a self-titled doll collector, but at the same time, that's a creepy concept at the very
Yeah,
least.
that really is.
Yeah. A vintage collector with a fondness for clothing from the 1930s and 40s was elated when she discovered a U.S. Navy sailor top from World War III at a thrift store. Again, risky.
Wait, what?
Um,
World War Three?
so,
She's predicting the future.
no, send help! World War II. Oh my God. That was scary. I don't want to
Yeah,
think about that.
no,
Oh,
little
God.
slip.
Oh, fuck. Can you tell what I've been like reading in the
Yeah.
news? Jesus.
Oh man,
Anyway,
can't escape it.
sorry. U.S. Navy sailor top from World War II.
Two.
Duh.
Uh-huh.
Gross. Jesus.
Hmm.
All I could think of was what stories this particular piece of clothing could tell me if it could talk, she wrote on Reddit. When she tried it on, it left her with an extremely heavy feeling that started at her head and creeped down through the rest of her body. It sort of felt like I was a stranger in my own mind and that someone else was in my body, she wrote. I had to sit down. It was that heavy and overwhelming. She bought the top and claims she still wears it from time to time. In fact, it turns out selling haunted things can also be good for business. A thrift store in North Carolina learned this last month. This was written in 2020, by the way, when it acquired a 1950s bedroom set that was, according to its previous owner, possessed with evil spirits. The restore, run by Habitat for Humanity of Rowan County in North Carolina, listed the two-piece set consisting of a queen canopy bed and a highboy chest of drawers for $1,000 and taped a sign next to it that read, "Please note, previous owner reports that the highboy is haunted. He reports continuous nightmares for he and his wife while it was in their room. He also reports that dogs would not stop barking at it," which, like, honestly, there's a photo of it and it looks fucking haunted. I'll post it on the Instagram for sure because it's
Yeah,
creepy as AF.
please do.
Um,
What's a is a high boy like a four poster bed or what? What is a high
no, a
boy?
high boy is like a chest of drawers. It's one of those
Oh,
like kind of skinny, tall
hmm.
ones. That's a high boy.
Okay.
Um, it's got like the three little ones on the top, and then like two, and then one
Yeah.
way
Okay.
down.
I can picture that.
Um, yeah. So I'll definitely post that on the Instagram because it looks fucking ominous. Um, goddamn. It
Ominous.
wasn't long, yeah, it wasn't long before shoppers took notice of the quirky and possibly spirit infested store display. That same day, news of it went viral. It sold the following morning. The
Wow.
consignment furniture showroom in Waco, Texas, has known for a while that ghostly items can be a coup for business. Since August 2007, they've had an antique couch in their showroom that everyone, including the store's owners, is pretty sure is haunted. There's good haunted and there's bad haunted, and this is bad haunted, showroom co owner Dean McNeil told Okay Whatever, which is the blog title, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, Bad things happen to people that have this couch. It's all negative. McNeil, who was there the day the couch was donated, said it has erased data on the store's computers, stopped television studio clocks from working, and ruined video footage taken by newscasters. And they literally have a sign on the couch that says haunted sofa, which I
Haunted
fucking love.
sofa.
So good. Um, okay. And it looks very, we'll post this on the Instagram too. It looks very unassuming, but it apparently is haunted as shit.
Hmm.
He also suspects the haunted piece of furniture to be behind the misfortune that has befallen those who've interacted with it. Within a short time of sitting on it, moving it, or spending significant time around it, people have gotten into car accidents, fallen through roofs, broken bones, and received terminal cancer diagnoses.
Whoa. That's weird.
Weird as and then another quote from McNeil. We obviously don't know if the couch actually caused it, but like I said, nothing good has ever happened around it, so we just stay away
Mm.
from it. It helps that it looks creepy. There's a hole in the back of the couch that could have been made by a bullet, and a stain that a ghost hunting team confirmed is old blood.
Oh.
Paranormal investigators once left motion-activated cameras pointed at the couch overnight and ended up recording 16 hours of footage, even though nothing seemed to have been happening to the naked eye. If you pointed the camera away from the couch, the camera would stop. If you pointed the motion-sensitive camera at the couch, then it would start recording.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, and it's motion detecting.
Yeah.
So something was moving.
Yeah. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Yeah, creepy.
Wait, this is in a thrift store?
Yeah, consignment furniture showroom in Waco.
Just burn it. Get rid of that.
Just fucking burn it, guys. What are we doing?
Why? Yeah.
Okay, so despite this, the consignment furniture showroom has held on to the beige upholstered 3-seater for the last 12 years. Like, no one's buying it, abandon it. Conspicuously marked with an orange laminated sign that reads "Haunted Sofa," they keep it safely away from their electronics in the back of the store, down at the end of one of the rows of sofas, so that way we don't have to be around it very much. Over the years, word of the haunted couch has brought droves of curious customers and paranormal seekers to the 25,000 square foot showroom in the heart of Texas. We have people all the time coming by to see it. They take pictures with it and stand right next to it. Dumb. Some people are even brave enough to sit on it and get their picture taken, McNeil said. The consignment furniture showroom has received plenty of offers from people wanting to buy the haunted couch, but they've turned them all down. We like it because people come in from all over the United States to see it, he said. So for now, we're holding on to it. That actually makes sense.
Yeah, it's a business thing.
It brings people into the store. If the store ever does decide to sell it, McNeil said the first person they'll offer the couch to is the man who has a $3,500 standing bid on it. So there's a guy who basically has it like earmarked for him. If you're spooked about the prospect of buying haunted thrift goods, there are a few precautions you can take. This is interesting. According to religious pundits like the televangelist Pat Robertson, you can clear negative energy or, quote, demons from an object by saying a prayer or blessing over it. Those who are more New Age inclined can grab a wand of sage, cedar, or Palo Santo and symbolically, quote, smudge the bad vibes away. Quick note that there are indigenous communities who would plead with white people in particular to not use sage or Palo Santo outside of a ceremonial setting. So just like maybe do your research on that. There are other things you can use other than white sage and Palo Santo. If you still notice signs, Amanda Lynette Meter, a spiritual living blogger, suggests talking to it compassionately and asking it to leave. She says you might even discover that you've brought home a friend. That feels very optimistic, Amanda.
Yes, very.
Demons are not just going to be like, "Oh, you want me to go? Okay, yeah, I'll go."
Yeah, that's true.
Jesus. Of course, if you don't feel comfortable contacting the ghost yourself, you can always hire a medium, shaman, or other healer who will. Perhaps the easiest tactic, if you have a niggling suspicion that the cactus coffee mug you bought from the Goodwill is possessed, toss it or donate it back to a thrift store. People have obviously done it before.
Yeah.
I just thought that was fun because it touched on so many different ones. Yeah. I was like, oh my God.
That is cool.
And also some pointers for if you come across one, here's what to do.
Oh, yeah. You never know what you're buying.
Exactly. So I have a couple more, and these are actually like it's a Reddit thread and a Quora thread, and I wanted to just like read the prompt and then read some of the comments because they're like very creepy and just like kind of fun.
Cool.
So the prompt is from April Scott 45, and she asks, have you ever bought a haunted item at a thrift store? And then she goes on to say, I've known a few people who've ended up with paranormal phenomenon going on in their homes because of a haunted object that they've bought from a thrift store or online. So if anyone has a paranormal story to share involving a thrift store item, I'd love to hear it. Please share. So this one really made me laugh. The first comment that has the most upvote says, no, but every time I see something creepy, I point at it and say haunted, just so it knows I know. And if my uncle is listening, that is such a Scott thing.
Haunted.
Like, haunted.
Yeah.
So it knows I know. I was dying laughing. I was like, wow, that is my uncle in a nutshell. Okay, so there's someone who commented, Kiki LC said there's this painting I've seen 3 times in 3 different thrift shops of a little
Whoa.
girl getting kissed on the cheek by a little boy, but the girl has this dead blank stare at you. So it looks like
Mm.
she's looking at you with like dead eyes. That
Yeah.
is so freaking creepy. I always send a picture of it and send it to my sister and tell her it's found us again because she
Mm.
found it at a thrift store too after I sent it once. So they both keep encountering it over
Whoa.
and over again at different
Creepy.
places. Yeah.
Mm.
Crayons Cooking says, I didn't actually buy it, but there was a vintage Last Rites kit at my Goodwill that creeped me out hardcore. Again, the religious stuff is just like a hard no
Yeah.
go.
Hmm.
I knew what it was, and it wasn't the association with the dead that with death that bothered me, but it's like it carried the most evil vibe. It gave me the feeling that whoever owned it was a horrible, evil person, and it left that energy. I put it
Mm.
back on the shelf and left quickly. A few days later, I tried to go to the same store, but felt paralyzed with fear of that object as soon as I turned into the parking lot, so I ended up not even stopping the car.
Whoa.
Like that energy had that much power over them.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yikes.
Um, this is Cossetine. They say this isn't haunted per se. However, one of my exes bought this painting at a thrift store of a woman with a falcon on her shoulder. The thing was massive, and it always felt like her eyes were following you around the room. He hung it above the TV. Like, why would you buy that in the first place?
Yeah.
Weird aesthetic.
Hmm.
He hung it above the TV, and after a few weeks, it started appearing in my dreams and have continued long since we've broken up.
Oh,
That I
no.
don't like.
No.
Yeah.
Haunting dreams.
Mm-hmm. Um, Pygmy Tree says, I haven't brought any of these items home, but I do have stories of odd experiences happening at thrift stores. I was at a Savers thrift store with my boyfriend, and we were walking past the section, and out of nowhere, one of the dolls just fell off the shelf right in front of us. We were walking by. I picked it up and put it back and continued on, not really thinking anything of it. But the other weird experience I had was at a different Savers location. I was looking at some paintings and there were couches and recliners in that section. Well, out of the corner of my eye, I saw an older blonde woman sitting on one of the recliners. It kind of didn't feel right to me for some reason because I didn't remember seeing a blonde woman near me before I started looking at the paintings. So I looked back at the couch and there was nobody there and also no blonde women in the vicinity.
Hmm. That's
This
bizarre.
made this made me think back to the doll incident and wonder if there's something more to it.
Yeah. Whoa.
Very weird.
Hmm.
Um, this is from this comment is interesting, super brief, but it's called Good Fair. It's I think an actual thrift store, and they commented and they were like, not going to go into detail, but let's just say we get a lot of phantom alerts on our warehouse security cameras in the middle of the night. When I
Hmm.
open the app and review the video, there's either nothing or creepy shadows, but
Whoa.
no actual people.
Weird. Well, I guess I'm not surprised. There's
No.
so many items with such unknown histories in one place. It's not,
Yeah.
yeah, not
Yeah.
shocked that thrift stores would be
No,
paranormal.
not at all. This is from Aaron Kelly's Bones. I bought a very old painting of a boy at the antique mall. I found him hanging behind a large hutch, and the woman didn't even know she had it. We worked out a price, and I own him now. He's hanging up over my sofa, and I swear his facial expressions change every once in a while. I also have one of 2 little girls that my mother is absolutely terrified of for some reason. She said it gives off a really evil energy. It's
Mm.
like, burn it, burn
Yeah.
it, burn
Trust
it.
your mom.
Trust your mom
She
and
knows
fucking
best.
burn it. Okay. I bought this is from a user who's no longer on Reddit, so it just says deleted. But
Mm.
this is a good one. I bought this really old, super heavy mirror with a wooden carved frame. The glass is really thick and beveled. The mirrored part is this crackled foil type paper behind the glass. I guess that's how they used to be made. It was behind a bar near Tombstone, Arizona. So they literally just like found it somewhere.
Yeah.
Which like that's probably what I would do is not bring it to a store because I'd be like
Mm.
someone else is going to pick this up. I'd put it
Yeah.
like in a dumpster.
Yeah.
So that's
Right.
probably what happened. So
Mhm.
um, I brought it home and nothing has been calm since. Extreme paranormal activity. I don't know how much of it was brought by the mirror itself, but I 100% believe that it, for lack of a better word, activated whatever is lingering in the home or property.
Hmm.
I have I have had psychics bring it up to me on multiple occasions. They'll ask me about the mirror and to get rid of it immediately.
Whoa. Oh,
Yeah.
you. Wow.
Yeah. They
That's.
always have differing views on how to get rid of it. It's dangerous for others who are unaware, and I don't want that bad karma. Plus, it's honestly really beautiful, and I have a hard time parting with it despite all of the problems I've had.
Hmm.
After I felt I had PTSD from all the activity it brought about, I had to cover it and put it in the basement. Currently trying to sell it to someone who knows how to handle an item like this. I don't want to throw it in the trash. I feel like someone would take it and open Pandora's box again.
Mhm.
It's an it's like an amplifier of some sort. Of some sort. Of
Some
some
sort.
sort.
Of some sort.
I have such hormone brain today. I'm so sorry. It's just I'm sober, like stone cold sober. Let me say that because I'm not always.
Yeah.
So I'm drinking a bubbly.
Yeah.
Um, okay,
It's all
it's like
right.
an amplifier of some sort.
Sweet.
Um, I should have just leaned in, honestly, just
Yeah.
embraced it.
Just
Amplifier of some sort.
start
It
reading in
weakens.
an accent that matches of some
I
sort.
don't even know what is that like 30s, like
Yeah.
see,
Yes.
with
Like
vibration of the
a
house.
radio announcer in the 20s or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. It weakens the vibration of the house until extreme instability arises. At least that's my theory. It's been in 6 homes in 10 years, I've found out.
Hmm.
Activity starts when the mirror is displayed.
Oh.
Anyone have an outlet for the disposal of such an item? Please share. Also, sage does absolutely nothing to this item.
Hmm.
So they've tried cleansing it, it sounds like.
Hmm. Wow.
Creepy.
Yeah. They need
Um,
professional help.
yeah, exactly. So that is, oh shoot, I just closed the wrong tab. That is the Reddit thread.
Wow. Those are
This
good.
one, yeah, this one is also creepy. This is from, where was their name? Oh, it looks like they're not on here anymore. Okay, anyway.
Mhm.
Um, Am I haunted? I got a doll at the thrift store a month ago and just hung it on my wall. Tonight,
Oh.
my lights started turning off and on, the light that is directly under it, and stopped when I removed it from my room, which is fucking weird.
Wait, they hung the
Um,
doll on the wall.
yeah,
Why?
who knows, man? People are weird. My guess is they hung a shelf and put it on
Yeah.
the shelf would be,
That makes
but
more sense.
weird way to say that,
Yeah.
but yeah. Um, Carrie Stewart replied, "Things happen in my home too. I swear it is very real. My daughter has seen spirits when she was younger as well. It's definitely not out of the ordinary for energy to be attached to a deceased person's things, especially if you're getting it from a thrift store. There's a ton of information and a lot of stories like yours online. Just don't watch Annabelle, lol. Seriously, though, if you feel like something is off, it would help to get rid of the doll in a respectful way, of course. So either take it back to the store and stage your home. Um, and you can find information on how to cleanse your home properly online as well. So it's like a lot of people are like, maybe don't. Corca Boga says, not haunted, which you're, at first I read it, I was like, oh, not, they don't think it's haunted. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, non-believer then, but there's definitely a demonic attachment to the doll. I was like, that's kind
Okay.
of haunted though,
Yeah,
no?
a little
Like,
bit.
yeah, people are funny. They go on to say, by the way, background on this person, they qualified under their like username that they actually were, they majored in demonology and demonic activity. And I'm like, where
Whoa.
did you go to school?
Yeah,
Like,
wow. Amazing.
yeah. They say this is why I warn people to pray over all items they bring into their home that have had more than one previous owner. This is because you have no way of knowing what the previous environment was like or what went with it. items from thrift shops, garage sales, flea markets, borrowed items, or items that have been handed down or forgotten and left by family members or friends. A prayer to the God of the Trinity, who needs to be prayed to. In their opinion, no other God can or will remove demons. And I think that's just because in the study of demonology, it's so specific to Christianity for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a prayer listed to cast out demons specifically from items. So it's almost like an exorcism.
Interesting.
Um, Paula Whiteley says, get rid of that doll. It is being used as a vessel by a spirit. Be careful when buying things out of thrift stores without first having them blessed. So a lot of people are really on the same page about like,
Yeah.
bless your thrift store shit or like cleanse it or whatever. Do what you got to do. Salt
Yeah.
water.
Interesting.
Yeah. She said, I know a lot of people who've actually opened themselves up to demonic activity specifically by buying innocent looking items that later became their biggest regret, which
Wow.
is so interesting. That's really like demonic.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Someone named SG, that's just their username, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I used to collect dolls like these. I'd love to see a photo if you're willing to share. And also if there's anything else that has happened with the doll. I do definitely think it could be haunted given the phenomenon and the fact that moving it seemed to help. I've never had any haunted dolls myself, but I saw and felt drawn to a gorgeous haunted pulpit at an antique store. Sadly, someone else bought it. A few nights after I had seen the pulpit, I felt a really strong protective presence in my one-bedroom apartment and saw an opaque, white, bright, glowing orb which turned in on itself. I kind of got the sense that whatever it was or whoever it was saying goodbye, and I wanted him to stay with me. So it was like he felt this like emotional connection to this pulpit, and so I think he felt
Wow.
it was haunted by like a really good presence that kind of
Yeah.
went with him, even though it was already paid for by someone else.
Mhm.
Um, Another time, after I had bought a baker's shelf at an antique store, I saw a gray shadow figure of a man walking through my apartment and suddenly smelled a men's cologne that I've never smelled before. That was all
Yikes.
that had happened with it, but it definitely felt like a haunting experience.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, super, super weird. Um, I can't remember if I think there was one more. Um, Oh, someone else thought that it was, like, potentially cursed by, like, black magic,
Mhm.
uh, something along those lines, but, yeah, it was just really interesting that, you know, I don't know. It
Yeah.
was just interesting all everyone's, like, kind of theories about it, like, "Oh,
Mhm.
it's energy from a past life, a previous owner, like, previous environment even," and
Mhm.
then other people are like, "Definitely a
No.
demon. It's a
Yeah,
demon."
that is
Yeah,
interesting.
and then, yeah, the, what's it called? Black
Yeah.
magic theory.
Yikes.
So, yeah, there
Yeah.
was a whole, like, laundry list of related posts on Quora about haunted dolls specifically, so I
Uh-huh.
definitely think that should be a future episode as
Yeah.
well.
I have some of those today as well. They
Hell
are
yeah.
all over the place. But
I love
yeah,
but yeah,
that's
that's
interesting.
that's all of mine. So nothing like so well, there's a lot of very scary stuff in there, but
Yeah.
it all was very like kind of surface level. I
Mhm.
watched a lot of YouTube videos because people like go on YouTube and talk about their experiences with these
Yeah.
things, but it was hard for me to like consolidate a lot of what they were saying into like something that I could fit into 30 minutes.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I kind of skipped over some stuff, but a lot of it's just more of the same. Like my bed started shaking in the middle of the night, it's falling off the walls, and the lights are going on and
Yeah.
off. And then the second the items are moved from the house, it's like
Mhm.
nothing,
Silence. Yeah.
complete calm.
That is
So
so strange.
so strange. Like what the f?
Ugh, yeah. And like I said, I'm not surprised by thrift stores
No,
and antique stores having this, but I've
no,
never thought about that before. Like, I shop at thrift stores frequently, very
right.
often, but I've never thought about that before.
No, me
So
neither. Me
now
neither. Even
I sure will.
clothes, like I don't really buy items at thrift stores usually. I mean, I guess
Hmm.
I have actually. Like I have a cool like kind of 80s style ashtray. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely not haunted. It's been in my
Hmm.
house for months, but the clothes kind of freak me out because they're
Yeah.
so close to someone else's body. Like,
Hmm.
and I don't mean from like a cleanliness standpoint, because obviously I wash them, but
Yeah.
oh, that just kind of freaks me out.
Yeah. Maybe demons come out in the washing machine. Just load it up with Tide.
Some spray and wash will get the demons right out.
Yeah, no problem.
That's definitely going to be the episode
Yeah.
title. Oh shit!
Next time we see a Reddit post, if somebody's like, man, this thing I bought is haunted, we can comment with a very
Place them
helpful
out in the
tip.
wash for
Yeah.
sure.
Just be sure to use hot water.
Yeah, use hot water on the demons. Demon infested item.
Oh, how
Oh my god,
funny.
that's so funny. Okay, your turn.
Okay. Well, here I go. So, I tried to find or stick to, I guess, more of the eBay stuff because I know that that exists.
Yes, for sure.
And the first thing that I feel like comes up on all of these lists is the Dybbuk box, which we've talked about before.
Yeah.
And I knew that we had talked about it, but I didn't know to what extent you had talked about it in that episode. So I went back to listen to your part. And this is, it was so weird. I was listening to it, and suddenly the audio got all garbled. And I was like,
What?
is this an episode where we had an audio issue? And then I rewound it and it wasn't.
No. Ew, dude.
So I feel like I need a cleanse now. Um, because it was at the part with the Dybbuk box that it
Fuck.
started
That just
happening.
mega, mega chills. I
Yeah,
hate that.
I know. I I don't know what would have caused that. So yeah. Um, but that Dybbuk box, the only thing that's giving me like a reassurance is that that's the one that he admitted to having made up the story. Um, so yeah, I won't go into that one because we did talk about it and because now we
Okay.
know it's fake. But I just had to
Yeah.
share that part. Um, some weird spookiness
Well, and that
surrounding.
also speaks to the fact that like you can create an energy, right? Like Slender
Yes.
Man and all those
Mhm.
creepy things. And it's like, do we have the power to actually like manifest those things? Maybe.
Yes, that is so true.
So much evil in the world is human anyway. So why couldn't that energy become something otherworldly, right?
Yeah, that is true. Ooh,
Oh, I hate thinking
reaching
about it
through
that
our
way, but
podcast.
literally.
Oh God. Yikes.
No, you're not welcome here.
No, not today or ever. But
Gross.
um let's start out then on a lighter note now to change the tone. This came from Mental Floss. They had a whole list of things, but I'm just going to read this one that I thought was really funny because it's a haunted bra. And it's reportedly contains
I
the
love
spirit
that.
of a sexy woman, quote unquote. And wearing it will allegedly ensure not just great support, but a constant stream of admiration and gifts.
Oh, wow, it's
um,
what we all want,
I know.
ladies. Am I right?
It's, I mean, come on. You have to be a
On.
32A, so you have to be really small. Um,
Okay, well,
that rules us out. But
I flashed you today. We both know I'm a
yes.
32A.
Yep. So, but then the other part of this that is weird, it says you can place the bra by a lit white candle to see her spirit in full body apparition. And if you break out a red candle, you can have an erotic encounter with the spirit, which
What?
is
Ghost sex? Weird.
apparently, I don't know how to wrap my mind around that one, but
Weird flex, but okay.
yeah, that's that's how they advertised it. I don't know if anyone bought it or not, because I think that post was pretty old at this point. But just thought that was a little bit of levity.
I kind of
Um,
love that though. That's funny.
I know, some sexy woman spirit
Sexy.
hanging out in a bra.
Sexy.
What a place to live.
That's
Um,
hilarious.
okay. So then, kind of along with that one, and probably a lot of things that are posted on eBay, we know that people can probably charge a higher price if they make up a story about it being haunted, because people love a spooky backstory. So
We love
it
that story.
it makes it challenging to filter through these. Um, so, for example, this first item that I'm going to talk about, I was led to it by an article on BuzzFeed that was written by Joanna Bournes.
Mhm.
And she opens the article by saying that she knew she wanted to write this post about an experience with buying a haunted item. And the first one she wanted was deemed too expensive by purchasing or whatever, because it actually ended up selling for over $6,000. And
Wow.
it was a supposedly haunted laptop. And
What?
the posting nearly had me convinced, except for two things, but we'll see what you guys think. So,
Yeah.
the seller wrote that he thought the laptop became haunted because he forgot it overnight under a full moon in a graveyard where he was drawing
Jesus.
sketches. Yeah. It's kind of
I love this
silly
guy.
now that I'm reading it out loud. He went back and found it propped open, but then things started to get weird. He says, first, I noticed that all of my songs in iTunes had become scary or haunted. Second,
Oh.
the desktop background was changed to a mysterious photo. The seller and his wife, Barbie, noticed stuff around their house had been mysteriously rearranged while they were out the following week. He wrote, when we came home, my baseball cards were all out of order, and we had rare American coins in total disarray. This sounds like an interesting guy.
Yeah,
Um,
what?
so he said he then took the MacBook to a psychic medium who placed the
Okay.
haunted laptop in the center of her table, held the seller's hands, and performed a ritual that caused the lights to flicker. She believed the computer was haunted, adding that she told him to burn incense around the computer before bedtime and to sing to it. um, he said, it sounds weird, but this seemed to help at least pacify the tormented soul. The computer remains haunted, but he became more peaceful and even helpful at times.
Hmm.
But the two parts of that story, I mean, it's all kind of silly now that I'm reading it out loud, but the two key parts that I was like, no, was he said that occasionally they would come out to see the computer levitating. And the other one was that he wrote this laptop would leave them notes, but not on the screen. It would use a pen and
That's
write
exactly where you cut out.
notes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't believe that, but
Right.
somebody obviously did because they paid over $6,000 for this computer. So,
$6,000. That's bonkers.
yeah. So I call BS on that one, but I thought it was funny, so we included it. But um, that was in the BuzzFeed article that I will now detail, with the thing that she actually bought, which was a haunted doll. And it was described in the eBay post as being inhabited by a kind, positive spirit named Mary,
Oh, that's
who,
cute.
yeah, it is cute. She lived in Ohio and she liked to paint. And that information had come to the seller in a dream. That's how she knew that information
Whoa.
about her. So, um, when the doll arrived, there were no physical hauntings going on, but Joanna, the author, she got the Spirit Box app that we've talked about
Oh,
in previous
yeah. That we're
episodes.
way too scared to get.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Classic.
Um, yep. And that app became very active. in Mary's presence. So some of the words that the spirit box picked up were loving, incubus, which is weird,
Whoa.
nightmare, cave, earth.
That's a little more loving than we want.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Let's see, cave, earthen, bones, and Ohio. And the Ohio one is especially interesting because the seller said that in the dream, Mary told her she was from Ohio. So that's kind of weird. And it also picked up the words fear, astral, and release. And on another funny note, Joanna said that she had planned to go to a workout class after work one evening, but decided to skip it to go to happy hour. And the spirit box said exercise tonight, which is
Bitch,
weird.
like go to the gym.
Yeah, I know. So, um, since that was being so active, she was like, maybe this is actually something going on. So she took the doll to a psychic slash medium, which she detailed in a separate article. But the psychic said that Mary had a very gentle energy about her, but there is definitely a spirit in there. And the psychic, without knowing the backstory, again picked up on the connection to the Midwest, Ohio, and the interest in painting. So it seems like there's actually maybe a spirit in there. Um, the rest of the stuff that the spirit box picked up is kind of a mystery, like the cave and the earthen and bones. I hope that's not how she died.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh
but
God, I didn't even think about that.
yeah,
Yikes.
I don't know. So I don't know that, but it seems like Mary was actually living
Oh,
in this doll. So interesting.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It
Um,
reminds me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, of What We Do in the Shadow.
yes.
That
Not
stupid
just doll.
little
Yeah.
nacho doll. Oh, that's funny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You little bitch.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. It is kind of like that, probably.
oh my God. Speaking of, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I have to tell you
It's
something
okay.
really important.
What?
The guy who plays Nandor is
Mm-hmm.
a cousin of my family friend. Yeah.
Wow. Can you
So
meet
her
him?
I don't know, but so it's a really good friend of my mom's because I went to elementary school with her older daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Her daughter, I guess, was my mom was over at her house for dinner, and her younger daughter, I guess, had been watching the show and
Huh.
was like, wait a minute, like saw the credits and was like, wait a minute, is this our cousin? And like called her mom, and her mom was like, oh yeah, it is. And she was like,
What?
why? And she's like, oh, he's in this like funny TV show I watch. And she was like, oh, that's so funny, whatever. So then
Whoa.
she told my mom, and my mom was like, well, I need to tell Olivia because guaranteed she watches the show and is in
Uh-huh.
love with him. And I was like, correct on both accounts. Um,
Yes.
I think he's so cute. I mean, he's so freaking funny. It's like, how can you
Yeah.
not think he's cute?
Yeah.
But
I.
anyway, I was just dying. I was like, that whole like 7 degrees from Kevin Bacon. I'm like
Mhm.
3 degrees
Oh my
from
god.
Nandor.
Yes. Wow.
3 degrees
I
from
love it.
Nandor,
I love
baby.
it. I would
Yeah,
love to meet him.
I know, right?
Um, the first time I saw a photo of him not in Nandor
Hmm.
character, I was like, "Whoa, you
Yeah.
look good." I
You
didn't
look good.
really realize that he
Yeah.
looked like that without that
Yeah.
ridiculous outfit on.
I know.
Oh, well,
I
that's
love
good to
him.
know.
It's good to
Good
know that I
connection.
could maybe take my shot. I was like, can we ask if he's single? She was like, I'm pretty sure he's like 40, so calm down. I
Well,
was like, hey, age
that's
is just a
okay.
number.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, it's
I'm nearing
almost your
30.
birthday.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, sorry to interrupt,
No
but I knew you'd
problem.
want to hear that
Yes.
important detail.
I did want to hear that. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, then kind of connected to this one with Mary, I found this Etsy shop that I tried to follow on Instagram, but it's a private account, so hopefully she'll accept me. But she apparently has videos because her whole shop is haunted items. It's called Haunted Moon with a capital D, and that's all one word, antiques. And it's run by somebody named Jen, and she describes herself as a third generation psychic medium, healer, and witch. And I'm not sure where she sources these items, but right now she has 35 things up for sale. And with each of them, they have a very detailed backstory about the spirit that Jen has been able to contact that's living inside them.
Holy shit.
So it's fascinating. And she has 128 5-star reviews, like nothing below 5 stars. And in reading some of these reviews, it's really amazing to me the attitudes that these people have toward
Yeah.
bringing spirits into their homes.
Mhm.
So I'm going to read a couple of the backstories Jen has written
Mm.
about her items and then some of the reviews.
Oh, I
So
love that. Yeah.
this item is currently for sale, so you could buy it if you want. But it's a ring that has this really big blue gemstone, and it is believed to be inhabited by someone named Josephine. So she describes Josephine as being very kind, lost soul who struggled with being turned into a vampire. She struggled so much that she turned to drugs. She wanted to die. She could not believe this had become her fate. She hated the person who did this to her. She would have chosen death over being a vampire. She is searching for a friend, a light, a mentor in her darkness. um, so, Josephine is a very kind soul who is very hard on herself. She suffers from low self esteem and depression because she feels she brought this on herself with the choices and the people she was hanging around when her life was brutally taken from her.
It's
The
not funny,
vampire,
but it's
I
a
know.
little bit.
It is, but these, I
The
don't know,
vampire
it's,
component is funny.
yeah, I read this one because of the vampire thing,
Mhm.
but it's so interesting to me because she has these 5-star reviews. She's made 200 some sales, and everyone who reviewed it basically has said similar things like this is the real deal. So maybe it's all these people just have the same willingness to believe something
Yeah.
kind of
That seems
ridiculous as this
unlikely.
is.
They all would, though.
Yeah, exactly. It makes me think somebody would be like, "Oh, I doubt this is
It's
real."
bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to buy it to see. And then,
Yeah. To be
so
skeptical.
I don't know, but yeah, um, she said
Interesting.
that this Josephine told her that the vampire who turned her was named Albert, and he assaulted her. He enjoyed watching her body die, and he left her to deal with what he had turned her into. She felt lost, confused, and very scared. She would like to go to a woman who's been through similar experiences, not turning into a vampire,
Right.
but being
Well, you never
hurt
know.
by someone. And she knows that together you can heal and find the light at the end of your darkest hour. So, and then she even includes like how you can communicate with her and what offerings she likes so you can put her on your altar, things like that. Like she enjoys wine, chocolate, crystals, incense, candles, flowers, attention, kindness, doing spirit
Attention.
sessions, and building a strong bond toward friendship.
I like all of those things as well.
Same. You could put
Someone
me on the
put me on
altar.
your altar.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Wine, chocolate, reading.
It sounds great to me.
Leisure time.
Yep.
Okay,
Sounds
seems
real
like a
good to
pretty nice
me.
vibe.
Yep. But she communicates with people through dreams,
Oh.
apparitions, whispers, oracle
Oh,
cards.
that would
The
scare me.
Yeah, me too. The pendulum, the spirit box app. It says and trigger objects, which I'm not even sure what that is.
I don't know. No, I didn't.
Um, yeah. But then I wanted to read one other story because, again, these seem so like silly when I'm reading them, but people seem to genuinely believe
Yeah.
this. So I'm just fascinated.
Yeah.
This one is a doll, and
Okay.
it's said to be inhabited by Molly, who was born in 1609, like real
Jesus
long ago.
Christ.
And she was forced to
Oh.
marry a pirate at the age of 15.
Oh, okay.
Yep, she was taken aboard his ship to take care of him, and she knew she would not be his only wife, as people took on multiple wives frequently then. A few years passed, a fire broke out on the ship's deck, and Molly tried to put it out but was badly burned in the process. The side of her
Mm.
face and her arms were covered in burns. She became very sick while trying to recover from her wounds. Her husband decided to replace her with a younger, prettier version, and she was
Oh,
forced to clean the decks of the ship and treated like a slave, all while being sick. She hated her husband and his new wife, and she was tired of being treated poorly and wanted revenge for the suffering she endured at their hands. One night, while she lay awake, water started to come into her cabin. She knew this was going to be the end of all of them, and she smiled, knowing that her suffering was finally coming to an end. And this doll has the side of its face damaged, like where this real spirit would have had her burns if she is indeed living in there. Um,
interesting.
and yeah, she communicates through thunderstorms, the spirit app, the pendulum, and whispers and dreams. And she likes white chocolate, English pastries, spirit sessions, kindness, attention, crystals, and candles. It's
I
so
love
funny.
it. It's like a
I
little like
know.
dating app.
I know. Yeah.
Likes long walks on the beach, pina
Hmm.
coladas.
Yeah. It's fascinating.
So
But
funny.
then here are just a couple reviews to finish off because I thought they were interesting. So this first one comes from Jen Jones, who purchased an item that was said to be inhabited by a spirit named Jack. And she said, Jack arrived safe and sound, packed well, blah, blah, blah. He is a positive, loving, and kind soul. Jen treats all her spirits like family, as they should be treated. Jack fits right in with the rest of my spirits, and he and another spirit of mine from Jen, named Abby, have fallen in love. So it's a
Wow.
spirit love story.
They're okay.
Yep. And then this last one is from somebody named
Spirit love
Matthew.
story.
Spirit love story. Um, Matthew says that he bought this painting inhabited by a spirit named Jenny. So Jenny came Saturday when I purchased on Thursday, fast shipping. She was so active out of the box with two immediate K2 hits to red. I don't know what that means.
So I think what the trigger object thing is like a light or like
Mm,
something for it to, if you ask a question, it can turn it on if the answer is yes.
hmm.
So I wonder, I just opened up her page because I wanted to like look at what else she has on here. I was like, oh, maybe I would buy something like this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Um,
No. No.
but because like scary, but she has this like flashing light on a lot of
Yeah.
them. I wonder if
That's.
that's what it is.
Let me see if she has accepted my follow request. No, she has not.
Not yet.
Not
Okay.
yet. But I assume because I saw those on Etsy, the little video
Mm.
of like the flashing light,
Yeah,
and I assume she has more things like that because at the end of
probably.
each post, she writes like, check out my Instagram to see like how she's communicated with these objects, like how she
I see.
knows. So I
Yeah.
really want to watch those.
Oh,
Hopefully
yeah.
I
She
can
should.
report back. But
Yeah.
um
That's
let's see.
fascinating.
Oh yeah, Matthew, he just went on to say that they also had a 5-minute conversation on his Spirit Box app that was completely in line with the story that Jen told him.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
yeah, I I just could have looked at that all day long, honestly.
Oh my
I
God,
think that's so interesting. Um,
yeah.
Particularly the attitude that people collect these sometimes. Like, people were talking about this as if they were having new friends come. And
Yeah.
I would never have thought that way about
No.
buying
Well,
a
and
haunted item.
even if you look at like obviously we know the Dybbuk box has been like debunked, but well, at least the origin story has been debunked. But I
Mm-hmm.
think most of the comments on those things are like, I want it. Like I want to
Yeah.
see for myself, I want it. And that's
Mm-hmm.
just so fascinating to me that there's such a market for this. Like, and I think
Yeah.
that's kind of a like morbid curiosity and interest in the paranormal, obviously. But I think a lot of people who are interested in the paranormal are like us, where we also like, because we believe in it, we also kind of fear it.
Fear it.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know, maybe it's people who are just super skeptical and are like, I want to prove that this is bullshit to
Mm-hmm.
myself
Yeah.
or prove that it's real. I don't know. Like, I don't even know. I can't put my finger on like the reason why. And it's probably different for different people, but it's just fascinating how big the market is for this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. Sorry, disturbance.
Nice.
I
Thanks for
know. I don't know. I would never purchase anything if I thought there
no,
was even a chance of it being
no.
haunted. So,
Hard pass. I'm good.
yeah, that is
I'll buy something
interesting.
new.
Hmm.
I'll go the non-sustainable route.
Yeah, I know. Just to avoid the spirits, we do
Literally,
what
no
we have to do.
spirits. No, thank you. Okay, well, I'll let you go because it sounds like Nora's getting a little antsy
She's
over
getting
there.
antsy. Yeah.
She's getting antsy.
Yeah.
But if you have haunted items or experiences with secondhand items, or honestly anything,
Hmm.
um, email us at girlsgonespooky@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Girls Gone Spooky. And we post announcements weekly for when new episodes are out, and we post like, well, we think it's funny
Yeah.
stuff, spooky stuff throughout the week
Hmm.
too. So follow us on social, and otherwise, we will talk to you next week. Stay spooky,
Yeah.
friends.
Stay spooky. Bye.